Our pre-show coverage for the California Resource Investment Conference continues. Joining me today is another speaker from the show. It's Jeff Berwick of the Dollar Vigilante. Jeff, thanks so much for being with me on Kitco News today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
So Jeff, as you know, we're doing something a little different this year. We're asking our viewers to vote for who they would like to see a full presentation from the show. You're one of the contestants. So tell us, what do you plan to speak about in California?
The title of my speech is called Escape from America, and basically it covers all the things that I talked about in my newsletter, The Dollar Vigilante. Basically, what we're expecting here in the next few years is a complete fiat currency collapse. This fiat currency system started fully in 1971 when they removed the gold backing from the dollar, and we've been living basically in a economic fantasy land since then. It's been basically all living on debt, and it's completely unsustainable, and it's all about to collapse. If you look at the U.S. government total debt right now, they admit to $15 trillion. But if they actually accounted for it the exact same way that all companies in the U.S. must account for it, using generally accepted accounting principles, the total amount of debt and liabilities of the U.S. federal government is over $75 trillion at this point. If you have a calculator that can do numbers big enough, and you just divide 75 trillion by the population of the U.S., that's about $250,000 per person. So a family of four would have $1 million worth of federal government debt and liabilities overhanging it. So all of what we've seen for the last few decades hasn't actually been real. It's been built on this false, fake fiat currency money that no fiat currencies ever lasted very long in history, and certainly we've never had a time where all the currencies of the world have been fiat. And so we're about 40 years into this now, and if you just look at the debt of almost every Western country, it's all completely unpayable, unsustainable, and if interest rates even start to rise at all, they'll all become completely insolvent. So we're preparing for that collapse and trying to help people to prepare for the coming years, which would be some of the craziest times in human history.
So Jeff, obviously not bullish on the US dollar. How does this fare for gold?
You know, we're going to have a complete collapse of all the fiat currencies in the next few years. So really the number one way to protect yourself that has worked for thousands of years during any times of government monetary collapse has been through the precious metals, gold and silver. That's been time-honored and time-trusted money. It's only not been officially money since 1971. And we believe it's coming back. When Richard Nixon actually announced on August 15th, 1971, that he was temporarily removing the gold backing from the dollar, well, I agree with him. It was temporary, and it's about to run out.
So, Jeff, with the upcoming election, though, in the U.S., do you think that this will cause a turnaround?
No, the U.S. political system at this point is there's no difference between the two parties, and it's been a complete scam basically for decades now. It's just basically choosing your own dictator at this point. There's really no difference between the two. There's only one person in the entire thing that is actually an honest person who's actually trying to return some level of freedom back to the U.S., and that's Ron Paul. And what you're seeing is the media completely trying to ignore him, trying to do anything they can to make him go away, basically. And I actually believe even if he did get the Republican nomination, which I don't think he's going to get at this point by the looks of things, even if he did, he'd still have to beat the Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton two-headed monster. And then even then, the last two presidents who even tried to return the U.S. to sound money were both assassinated. JFK was trying to return the issuance of money to the government from the Federal Reserve and trying to back it by silver. A few months later, he was assassinated, and James Garfield in 1880s was trying to stop them from converting to a fiat currency system, and he was assassinated. And actually, there was one more. Ronald Reagan was talking similarly like to what Ron Paul was talking about, and in the first few months of his presidency, there was an attempted assassination attempt by actually the Bush, a good friend of the Bush family, and George Bush Sr. at the time, of course, was vice president. So even if Ron Paul gets in, I just wish him the best because there's a lot of people who have interest in him not being president.
Jeff, we've actually had Ron Paul a few times on our show where he's discussed the possibility of a gold audit. What are your thoughts on this?
It's been over 60 years since there's actually been an independent audit of Fort Knox. And I don't know about you, but anything I haven't seen in 60 years probably isn't there. Just the fact that they're trying to fight it so much just shows you that there's obviously something not right there. So I expect that a lot of that gold is gone, or has been at least lent out, or in some way or another is not there. And even if it was there, though, there isn't. They don't have a massive amount of gold that they say they have. I believe the total amount adds up to about $250 billion. The U.S. government right now is going into debt more and more by over $1 trillion a year right now. So that total amount of gold in Fort Knox, even if it was there, would only pay for 3 months of deficit spending for the U.S. government.
All right, Jeff, so our viewers' favorite question, where do you see gold headed in 2012?
I don't try to target price range too much because I actually don't like to look at the price of gold in terms of dollars. I think that can really throw you off. If you look at the price of gold and silver in dollars, it looks like it's gone up a lot since the year 2000. It looks like it's gone up from $250 to where it is today, $1,700. And if you just look at that and you don't look at anything else, you might say, wow, that looks like it's gone up a lot. Maybe it's nearing the end. But if you account for it in inflation-adjusted dollars, and using any number of different ways of looking at inflation, it really hasn't gone up all that much. It's maybe gone up about 250%. Really, I try not to even look at it in terms of dollars because it'll throw you off. And basically, the dollar's headed to its ultimate intrinsic value at this point. And so why even pay attention to it in the price of dollars? I'm holding gold until this Western monetary system collapses, and it will. And to even look at it in terms of dollars can really screw you up because, for example, let's say gold goes to $5,000 an ounce this year or next year. Some people might say, oh, that's really high now, I'm going to sell. Well, they'd be selling right before the US dollar collapsed and became worthless. So why would you be even looking to sell it at any point before this system collapses? So, but as for this year, I do have an analyst for our newsletter, and I do trust him to make accurate predictions. And he says we could be seeing as high as $2,500 this year.
Finally, Jeff, last question. Why should viewers vote for you?
Well, I'm an anarchist, so I'll never run for office, but vote for yourself. Take responsibility for yourselves. That's what we have to do. We've been living in this statist system for too long, and that's what's causing all these problems. That's what causes wars. That's what causes everything, is statism. So the sooner that we can have actually 7 billion governments on Earth, the better. So vote for yourself.
Thank you so much for your time, Jeff. We look forward to seeing you in California.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you for watching Kitco News. Remember, you can vote for one of 4 presenters from the show: David Morgan of the Silver Investor, Jeff Berwick of the Dollar Vigilante, Frank Barbera, or Gregory Walden of Walden Financial. Whoever gains the most number of votes will have their full presentation from the show broadcast on kitco.com. You can vote right here on this microsite. Again, thank you for watching. You can email me at newsfeedback@kitco.com. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.